Wai Kyung, could you give me just 1 minute?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fix some problems with the slides.
While you do that, I would just do a quick introduction. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this session it's a briefing session for freshmen for the academic year of 2025 and 26. And this afternoon, we're going to have two parts in this session. First part is going to be provided by Prof. Kalun, who is from the Dean's Office, the Faculty of Science Dean's Office. And the second part will be provided by myself. I'm Prof. Chui Wai Kyung from the Department of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. And on that note, I think I'll be ready.
Sorry, one moment, please.
Okay. So for this first part, Prof. Ng is going to be sharing with you about course registration. That's something that a lot of freshmen would like to know more about because it's quite an important exercise that you know what to do. Whereas I think, well, this is an important aspect in the education in US. In pharmacy, most of the essential modules will be pre-allocated to you. So what you need to do is to know how to go about selecting your elective courses, right? So that's why you still need to understand the course registration process.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so on that note, we will now hand the time over to Prof. Ng from the Dean's Office.
Thanks, Wai Kyung. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So sorry for the slight delay here. Now, what I'm going to share with you, it's a very, well, it's brief, but yet I hope it is concise enough to let everyone have a good idea of how the NUS modular system and more importantly, the course registration system works. Because at some point in your academic journey, you will be using the course registration system extensively, but maybe not so from the very first semester. Okay, but nevertheless, it's still important for everyone to be clear and have a good idea of how this system works. So let me start by giving a very quick overview on the NUS modular system. Now, in all the modules or the courses that you will be taking in your academic candidature, the course is represented by a code. All right, and the course code usually comes with a prefix, like in the example, PC, LSM, GE, PL. These prefixes represents the department or the majors that this particular course belongs to. And then the course code is followed by 4 numbers, where the 4 numbers each actually has a meaning, which I will not spend too much time to go into. Now, for each course, usually the typical default is 4 units, which translates to about 10 hours of study and preparation time per week. So a 4-unit course will be 10 units, 4-unit course will be 10 hours of study and preparation time. Now, for each course that you'll be reading, it typically comes with a prerequisite, which means you have to pass perhaps a lower level course first before you are eligible to take a higher level course. And the word preclusion just means that the 2 courses may be very similar in nature and therefore cannot be taken together. Or even if both are to be taken, you will not be getting credits or units awarded for both courses. Okay. Now, in the NUS modular system, all of you will have a primary major. All right. In which case, for all of you, it will be pharmacy. And then if you have the curriculum space, which is something that you can determine optional to declare a second major, or for most of you, maybe you have curriculum space to do a minor. All right, so these are optional and in no way compulsory. So of course, everybody will graduate with a primary major, and for all of you here would be pharmacy. Okay, there are many academic policies and information that's too many for me to go through one by one. So I've just listed some of the very key policies that every student um, should be aware and be well versed in. All right. The two links found at the bottom of this slide will lead you to various websites that will provide the details of this information. In what follows, I'll just very quickly go through a few of the key points listed in this slide. The first one being the GPA, or what we call the grade point average. This grade point average is the single one number that gives a reflection of your academic progress and performance. All right, so every student, by the time you start and complete your education journey in NUS, will have a GPA. There is a formula that is used to calculate your GPA, which is essentially the ratio of two terms. So in the numerator, you have the sum over all the courses that you have taken and passed that comes with a grade point, as well as the units, which is like the weightage, or most of the time is 4 units assigned to those courses. So that adds up to give you the numerator in the ratio, whereas the denominator is the total sum of the units of the courses you have taken, used in the computation of the numerator. So as you can see, we compute this average, and the maximum achievable GPA is 5. Now, this slide shows the various grade points that are assigned to the grades that you will be obtaining at the end of every semester. Right. So as you can see, for grades A and A+, these will achieve the maximum grade point. I'm sorry, hang on a moment. They are seeing this? Not this? Can I check if you are seeing the correct slides or correct screen on your computers?
I see
Or
the
am I
grading
not?
system.
Is
Oh, but
this normal?
uh,
Or let me try to share this one instead. Is it right now? No? What about this?
yeah, that's right.
Is this okay now?
That's
That seems more normal, right?
that's
Okay,
the
my
present. Yeah,
apologies.
yeah.
Okay, let me continue. So I was at this stage that gives an overview of the various grade points that are assigned for the grades that you obtained after each semester's examinations results released. So as you can see, grade of F, meaning a fail, would not earn you any grade points. And then from D onwards, you have starting from 1 grade point all the way to a maximum of 5. Now, there are certain courses that you take which would result in a grade, or at least a letter that does not come with any grade points. For example, if you are exempted from a course, what you will see would be an EXE. All right, so that doesn't carry any grade points, but it will come with the units that are credited, which will count towards your graduation requirement. Sometimes you will see letter grades like IC or IP. So this would represent grades, or rather courses, where the grades has not been computed and it is still in progress, or if it is a course that was dropped halfway or deemed to be incomplete at the end of the semester, then you will obtain what we call an IC grade. Now, there are certain grades that are important to note, what we call the S grade or the U grade, or the CS grade, CU grades. So I'm going to explain this a little bit. Before that, the honors classification that all students will graduate at the end of their candidature will be based on the final GPA they would have at the end of their final semester. So depending on whether your GPA by then is 4.5 and above, or between 4 to 4.49, you will be getting various honors degree classifications. All right. If your GPA drops to below 3, then you will obtain a bachelor's degree, but without honors. So that's a pass degree. Now, in the event that your GPA falls below a certain threshold, this is where we mean by probation. So if your student has his or her GPA drop below 2.0 for the first time in this candidature, then that student will be put on probation for that following semester. Well, what does probation mean? Probation in this case would mean that the student will have to take the choice of the courses very carefully and go through academic counseling. All right, the student may not be allowed to take a full load or even overload, right? Because the student is in danger of falling into the dismissal category. Because if in the following semester, the GPA continues to stay below 2.0, then the student will be dismissed from the university. Okay, so it is important that all of you keep a good check on your existing GPA, right, and work towards, of course, avoiding falling into probations or dismissal situations. Okay, in the computation or in the fulfillment of your graduation requirements, students cannot take more than 60 units of level 1000 courses. All right, so this is to safeguard the situation, to prevent students from trying to push up their GPAs with taking too many level 1000 courses. So I just want to direct students to the given link where this requirement has quite a few number of details. So everybody should take note of that. Now, I'm going to move now into the SU option. So I think you remember I said earlier that there are certain courses that you have taken that you will take, after which you can actually convert them to SU, which will not carry a letter grade and therefore with no grade points. However, those are still deemed to have carrying academic units, which will count towards the graduation. Okay, so everyone is given a total of 32 units of SU options. All right, and you can exercise up to 20 units of such options on eligible courses to convert a letter grade into a pass or fail grade. Okay, so a pass grade in this case would be a S grade, short form for satisfactory, where you will earn the units, but the grade is not factored into the computation of a GPA. So up to 12 units can actually be utilized beyond your first year of study. Now, it is important to note that the exercising of the SU decisions on the courses can be done for semester 1 courses at the end of semester 2. So you can actually defer that decision until the end of semester 2 and look at in totality what are the courses and what are the grades you've gotten for that whole year before you decide which are the courses you want to exercise SU options on. So there's no need to rush, because the moment you were to exercise an SU option on a particular course, that choice and that decision is irrevocable. So you cannot come back and say, I want to change my mind later on. Okay? So as mentioned, an S grade is deemed to be a pass. So anything that has a D grade and above can be converted if it is eligible to be converted to an S grade, and anything lower than a D grade will be a U grade, right? So just take note of the eligibility conditions. Not all courses that you'll be taking is eligible for the SU option, all right? There are certain types of situations, right, where SU options cannot be exercised. So I just want to highlight a few situations. For example, if a course is dropped too late into the semester, right, to the point where the course is going to appear on your academic transcript. Now, if you were to take a course and then you decided to drop it very early, that course will not appear in your transcript. But if you were to drop it too late, and I'll explain in a bit what is meant by too late, then you're either going to see a W or an F grade. Now, this kind of situations, you will not be able to apply SU options on such courses. Another example is if a student is given an F grade due to a breach of the academic honesty, academic integrity. That means if a student was found to have committed plagiarism and so on and so forth, right? This kind of situations, the student will not be able to apply SU options on courses in question. Okay, so there will be 3 days after the exam results are released where students can decide to exercise SU options. So remember, once exercised, those decisions are irrevocable. Okay, this is the graduation requirement, just like for all 4-year programs under CHS. The BPharm program comprises of 160 units, of which 116 are your major requirements, 20 units of university requirement, all right, which comprises of 5 core curriculum courses for the healthcare professionals, which all of you are under. And then you have 24 units of unrestricted elective space for you to choose courses over the course of your 4 years. And you can use these 24 units of unrestricted electives to, for example, fulfill a minor requirement, which is 20 units, right? Okay, so I think this was I couldn't get this to display properly. I'm not sure why, but this slide was meant to display the 5 common curriculum courses under the healthcare professional setting. So I'm quite sure you will see these in time to come. Okay, let me move now very quickly into the course registration system, which I was told all of you will have some experience doing even in the first semester, because most of you will have at least one curriculum space to choose to do one course of your choice. So you should know, you should take note of how this course registration system works. Okay, there is the academic plan application and declaration phase, where before the start of every semester, students will have to go through the academic plan declaration stage. For most of you, your academic plan has already been fixed, which is you're doing your BPharm program. But it is necessary to go through this stage before you can participate in the course rec system. All right. So for this coming semester, please make sure that declaration is completed by the 20th of July, because 24 hours after that, on the 21st of July at 9 a.m., that's when course rec round 1 will be commencing. All right, just to highlight the difference, but for most of you, unless you are planning to do an academic plan application for a restricted minor, then most of the time, if you want to declare an open minor, you can do it at the beginning of the semester. All right, unless you are trying to apply into a closed minor, a restricted minor, then you take note that the academic plan application phase happens later on in the semester. All right, it will only take place in the reading week of every semester, because these restricted minors, if your application is successful, will only be added to your plan in the following semester. Okay, so the difference between declaration and application. Okay, as most of the BPharm program courses are going to be pre-allocated to you, all right, so course rec may not hold a very high significance. But for those of you who are going to register for other non-BPharm program courses, please take note that other than the lectures, you must also be registered for tutorials or sometimes lab sessions, okay? Now, NUS has a workload policy where depending on your academic progress and performance, you may or may not be allowed to go over and beyond the default workload every semester. So for all of you, for most of you actually, unless you're in some special programs, most of you, your semester one's maximum workload works out to be 23 units, right? Now, with most of the courses in NUS being 4 units, 23 units just means that you could be taking 5 courses in your first semester. There is a minimum workload except for those in their graduating semester. So most of the time, every semester, students are not allowed to take fewer than 18 units unless there are special circumstances where approval needs to be given. So as you go through the first page of course rec, so again, there is something missing on the left side of this slide. The left side of this slide is supposed to show you the menu that you will see on the upon entering the main course rec page via EduRec. So this slide is supposed to point to the various menu bars on the left side of the screen that gives you various features of the course rec system. All right, so not all of the features there will apply to you. Right, so you should navigate through the course rec page and try to see which are those that are relevant. So for this coming course rec exercise, there are 3 rounds where students will try to secure the courses that they want to read over and above those that has already been pre-allocated to them. Now, generally speaking, round 1 is what we call the protected rounds, where students will be choosing courses that has a very specific requirement to fulfill, right? These courses are usually chosen or read if the student is reading them to fulfill major or specialization or second major requirements. Whereas rounds 2 and 3 are the times where the course opens up for all students to read, including for those students who are just reading them as unrestricted electives. Okay, so for a step-by-step guide, please look at the website that contains information provided by our university's registrar's office. Now, the course rec system is a priority-based system, so depending on what you are reading the course for, the system has a way and will determine your priority scores that is computed with these 3 under these 3 categories. So are you reading the course to fulfill primary major or second major requirements? So this is the program requirement component. Your seniority as compared to the other students. So a year 4 student will have priority over a year 2 student. And of course, for this particular course, where did you rank it in your preference list? Okay, so for someone who put it as rank 1 compared to someone who puts it at rank 5, everything else being equal, then of course, the student who puts it at rank 1 will get priority. Okay, so more things missing here. I think if I recall, this slide basically is to explain to you that there are certain functions that you can see in the course rec website. For each of the courses, it is important to take note of the supply and demand. So in terms of vacancy, that tells you how many vacancies are left for these courses. And under popularity, it will tell you how many students have selected for this course for this round. So if you have a very small vacancy and very high popularity, then the chances of getting this course is actually quite low. So take note of these information, which will be useful in determining whether or not you should go in and try to get these courses. I think I will skip this slide. This slide basically talks about the functions where you can actually opt for reserve class for some of the courses that you choose to let course rec know that if you're not successful what are the backup options that CourseRec could assign you to. Okay, other than registering for a course, if a course comes with other teaching and learning components like tutorials and lab, those would need to be registered as well. So for this coming exercise, there are 3 rounds, or rather 2 rounds of tutorial registration and 1 round for add drops or swaps with other people. So just take notes of the dates. Now, these tutorial rounds 1 and 2 registration periods only happens after the actual course rec period is over, because after the course rec period is over, that's when people already know what are the courses they have been successfully registered, and they will have to go through this phase to choose the tutorial groups that they wish to be registered for. So tutorial group registration is based on a balloting system. All right, so it is not first come, first serve. You will go in and do your ranking. So if for a particular course, there are 10 possible tutorial groups in which you only need to register for 1. So you'll look at the various time slots, which are the ones that fits your timetable best, and then you do your ranking, and then the system will take its do its job. All right. If demand for that particular time slot does not exceed the quota or the number of spaces, then every student who chooses that particular time slot will get allocated that tutorial group. If demand exceeds supply, then it will be just random balloting, where the system will randomly assign the maximum number of students that that particular time slot can accommodate. Okay, in the dropping of the courses, please be mindful. As I've shared earlier, if you drop it too late into a semester, you will incur a W grade or worse, an F grade, which will reflect on your transcript. So you may wish to take note of these timelines for this coming semester. All right, if you were to register and then subsequently drop a course before 25th of August, nothing will happen. It will not show up on your transcript. But starting from 25th of August, 0000 hours, all the way to 28th of September 2359, a course that is dropped during this period will be reflected with a W grade. 29th of September, 0000 hours onwards, any course that is dropped after this time will be reflected with an F. So please be very mindful. All right. While it is okay to register for a course and see if it is really something you want to do, but if you have to drop it, make sure you drop it early. Right? Do not drag this till too late into the semester. All right. In doing course rec, there will be times where you need to submit appeals because you may not get all the things that you want each time, not just in terms of the courses, but sometimes also in terms of the tutorial groups or the lab groups. So if you need, please submit all your appeals through CourseRec. Do not go around sending emails to everyone, all right? Because those emails will not be acted on. Only appeals submitted through CourseRec will be looked at and worked on by the administrators overseeing those appeals. Finally, during the course rec period, please take note of the various avenues where you could get assistance or obtain information. All right. For FOS, there is an online query form. So please use the online query form to ask our UG team any questions or seek clarification on any of the policies or information that you may need clarification on. Okay. All right, communications by the Office of Universities Registrar will usually be sent to you via emails. So make sure all of you check your NUS emails regularly. All right, ignorance cannot be used as an excuse. So if you were to miss certain timelines or you miss certain important information, right, that has already been sent to you by emails, then we will not be able to help you in those cases. So make sure you are very prompt, as well as be very fully aware of all the official communications that are sent to you to your emails. All right, thank you for your attention, and I'll hand you back to Prof. Chu. Wai Kiong, please. Wai Kiong, I think you're muted.
Right, thank you, Prof. Ng. Let me now go and okay. Okay, can everyone hear me and see my slides?
We don't see your slides. We see your inbox,
Uh,
your Outlook inbox.
Welcome. Wrong with this. What about now?
Yes, we see your slides.
Okay.
You just need to expand it. Yeah, okay, it's good.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So you've just had an overview of what course rec is, and of course, all the other policies related to the modular systems. If you should have any questions about the courses in pharmacy, you could write to me, and we will be able to help you. All right, so for the rest of this afternoon session, I'm going to share with you a few slides more about the pharmacy program, and particularly the journey from the student to a pharmacist. So I would like to first of all welcome you to the Department of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, and of course welcome you to also NUS. Uh, in fact, NUS is the only university in Singapore that offers a pharmacy program. And I would like to take this opportunity also to congratulate you on two accounts. First being that you have really come to a very important milestone in your life, that you've completed your pre-university education, and now you're here with us going into a tertiary education. And the second kind of congratulation note is to say that you're very fortunate to be able to be offered a place in pharmacy. And it's really quite competitive to come into this program. And we are very excited that you have accepted the offer and that we will be seeing you shortly in the course. And we will be showing you the ropes of how to become a pharmacist. And that comes to really this afternoon's talk about that journey that you'll be taking from the student all the way to become a registered pharmacist. Before I go into what I'd like to share with you in terms of the information, I'd like to introduce myself formally, even though you may have seen me on and off, perhaps in some of these outreach activities. But I'd like to, again, introduce myself properly. My name is Chui Wai Kiong, and I'm an associate professor from the Department of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. And I'm also a registered pharmacist. Like yourself, many years ago, I've received my Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy with honors from NUS. And thereafter, I went overseas to UK to do a PhD in medicinal chemistry. And then I came back to my alma mater and continue as a lecturer. And now I'm one of the senior members of staff in the department. What are some of my duties? I'm the co-director for the Bachelor of Pharmacy Honors Program. Together with me is Prof. Paul Gallagher, who is currently on conference leave, and therefore he's not been able to join us this afternoon. Apart from that, outside of university, I'm also a council member, the ex-official member of the Singapore Pharmacy Council. You hear a lot about this organization, the Singapore Pharmacy Council, because the council is the body that actually registers pharmacists, and only when you become registered pharmacist can you be able to look for a job and work in Singapore. And in terms of my expertise areas, I got my PhD in medicinal chemistry. I think most of you might have heard of this term. And because of that, I'll be teaching mainly all the chemistry-related topics in the course. But recently, I've just pivoted over to a different area of research interests, and this is the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning. And you can see my email there. And if you have any questions pertaining to your programs or anything about studying in NUS, you're welcome to drop me a line. So today I'd like to share with you what is pharmacy education about and how is that journey for you. In a nutshell, pharmacy education and training is really that formal education that you will be receiving before you can become a pharmacist. And this pharmacy education is usually taken at a university, and that university is recognized by, in Singapore, the Singapore Pharmacy Council. Because it is recognized by the council, and therefore you have to go through a prescribed educational program and also prescribed training program from which you need to fulfill all the requirements before you can be registered as a pharmacist. And the whole purpose of the education and training is really to bring you up to a certain level of competency such that you'll be able to carry out relevant professional activities to help your patient. So basically, this is a 4-year program. At the end of the 4-year program, you will also have to complete a 1 year or 52 weeks of pre-registration training. For this training, part of it will be done within the course, and after you've graduated from NUS, you will complete the rest of the training program before you can be registered as a pharmacist with the Singapore Pharmacy Council. So we provide something what we call a competency-based education. And what does it mean? It means that at the end of the 4 years, when you graduate from NUS, we would like you to become a competent care provider. And as a care provider, you are really specializing in the treatment of diseases, because as pharmacists, we are the custodians of all the medications or medicines that our patients consume. And supporting this role as a care provider, you will also learn other soft skills that will transform you into a professional, a healthcare professional. And these are scholar, innovator, leader, manager. You're going to be a collaborator, a communicator, health advocate, as well as a professional. So as you can see from this slide, at the end of the 4 years, it's not about, again, getting the certificate that you've passed all the course, all the different courses, but you should be able to demonstrate that you are able to apply those knowledge into being able to look after the patient. And these other competency domains will support that competency of looking after patient. So what does this journey looks like? I mentioned that it's going to be a 4-year program. So in this 4-year program, you will begin in your first year developing your professional identity. And what does this mean? Pharmacists, just like the other healthcare professionals, the doctors, nurses, and the dentists, we form a very important part of the healthcare system. And at the beginning, we would like you to kind of develop that professional identity as a pharmacist. Basically, you learned about what are the roles and responsibilities of pharmacists and how is that different from the doctors, the nurses, the dentists, and the allied health, for example. And this is where you learn to get acquainted with the reason and motivation to learn. Because when you go through this journey, you're learning not just to pass tests or exams, you're learning to get that knowledge, skills, and attitude to be able to look after your patient, all right, and get your patient, to see your patient get well at the end of it. Now, the way that you learned, we also hope that you will learn to learn by yourself and also to learn in a team. And that is why we will be putting you into team-based learning groups, and you will start to work with your classmates, all right, to in some of these learning activities, like in the practicals and also like in the tutorials. At the same time, we will also send you out to the workplaces, and this will be the pharma companies and also the retail pharmacy. This is where you also get to learn at the workplace, shadowing a pharmacist. But in these cases, you will be taught to do certain professional activities, and you will also be assessed at the end of it to see whether you're competent in conducting those activities. So along the way, you will start by building foundations in your knowledge. In year one, you learn a lot about the basic sciences and also some introduction to therapy. But as you go along, you will take up a lot of courses in skills, learning skills to look after patients, and also learning about ethics and how to and professionalism, for example. All right, so that you behave as a professional. And an important thing to note as well is to prepare to undertake various modes of learning. All right, it's not like in school anymore. It's not just tutorials and lectures. And tutorials is not about just doing questions, all right, practice questions. It's really about solving problems. We hope that you're through different modes of learning, through the interactive classes and also through practicals, all right, you understand the knowledge better and be able to apply those knowledge in the tutorials, which we call collaborative learning workshop. So at the end of the day, it is important that you are able to apply your knowledge and skills. And the acid test is when you are sent out to do your internship. Your preceptors or your trainers will be helping you to use those knowledge that you've learned in the classroom and be able to apply them to real patients. So at the end of the road, we hope that you'll be able to achieve those competence that are required for you to enter the profession. And upon your graduation and upon completing your pre-reg training requirements, then you will go through a ceremony like this, which is the pharmacist affirmation ceremony, where you will be officially enrolled into the register of pharmacists. And as a registered pharmacist, you will be able to secure a job in the pharmacy workforce. So this is basically the journey that you'll be going through. It's a 4-year plus a 1-year pre-registration training, and part of the pre-registration training will be taken in course. Now, it may look like you may think that it could be a really difficult journey. I can be frank with you, it is a difficult journey, but you're not going to be alone. You can see here that along the way, you have all these professors and pharmacists as practitioners will be helping you. Apart from the professors, of course, you also have your classmates and also your seniors, all right, who will be able to help you to learn not only the knowledge, but acquire those skill sets to look after your patient and also how to behave more, practice in a more ethical ways, for example. So I'd just like to emphasize again that this journey is not going to be a lonely journey. It's a journey that you will be filled with fun. And of course, you can see that all my colleagues here come from different parts of the world. It's quite multinational and they have different educational background. And I'm sure your learning is going to be quite enjoyable. Now, What are the things that you can expect of in this 4-year program? We will give you a little bit more detailed information in the induction week. But for now, I'd just like to give you an overview of what you will be encountering. So you learned about, first of all, the drug substances and how that drug substances is discovered and what are some of the properties of the drug substance. And those properties will determine how that drug substance is made into a product. And this product, which we call dosage form, could be an injection, a tablets, a capsules, and emulsions, and so forth. And with that product, you learned about patient, all right, patient coming with different disease states, and for different disease state, what kind of drugs you will be using or medicines you'll be using to help the patients get well. And finally, you learn also about the role of pharmacy and also the pharmacists within the health system. Many of the courses that you take are offered predominantly by the department because you can see that there's a very large proportion of the 160 units that you need to acquire that comes from the department. But for some of these classes, you will be taking them with students from medicines, nursing, dentistry, as well as your classmates from pharmacy. And this is what we call the common curriculum, which Prof. Ng has shared with you a bit earlier. So this is where we will take you from a novice, where you don't know very much about medicines, what they are, how they are going to act in the body, to a level where you become a competent pharmacist, where you'll be able to adjust dose, you'll be able to identify what are some of the side effects of the drugs, and therefore recommend changes for substitution of medication if a patient should not be responding to the medication or should be experiencing side effects. All right, so this is really where we would like to take you in this journey from a novice all the way to a competent pharmacist. Now, when you graduate and when you go out and get a job, it is important that you are able to apply your knowledge, skills, and behavior. This is what we call the competency, all right? And the reason why you are learning this is, of course, you want to be a pharmacist, but as a pharmacist, what are the expectations of your patients and also of your employers. So in the next couple of slides, I'm going to share with you some of the expectations of your patients and your employers. First of all, your patients would expect you to be a competent practitioners. In other words, when they come to you, they expect you to be knowledgeable and be able to help them with any queries they may have. They expect you to also be a compassionate carer. They are looking for somebody, a pharmacist, who can relate to his or her feelings and needs so that you will be able to address them and help to solve their problems. Apart from dispensing, which I think all of you always, I'm sure you know that the pharmacist dispenses medicines, but actually, I think our services actually go beyond dispensing. There are a lot other services, some which are clinical services that pharmacists provide. So that is something that the patients will also be expecting of you. You need to also be an empathetic listener so that you can listen very well to what your patient's queries are, and also they will expect you to be acting on them so that you will be able to address their needs, not only about medication, but also their well-being and also for health in general. And finally, they expect to establish this very professional relationship with you. And if you are able to get their trust, you will find it really fulfilling that they will be able to open up and share with you some of their concerns, and you will be able to help them. I think the satisfaction is where your patients keep coming back to you for advice and for information. Such professional relationship will take time to inculcate, and we hope that you'll be able to do that at the end of the course. Now, that's what the patients will expect of you. And of course, when you seek your first job, your employers also have certain expectations of you. And first on that list is to be a competent practitioner. And as you know, all right, your employer will be expect you to be able to hit the road and get running, all right, so that when you are employed, all right, you should be equipped with all the right knowledge, skills, and attitude to do the duties. At the same time, they expect you to be able to work in a team, not only within your pharmacy, but also with other healthcare providers within the hospital, for example. Right, so a team player is something that is important and is expected of you by your employers. And your employees will also expect you to be able to solve problems. Some of these problems may not be the classic textbook problems. You are expected to be able to apply your knowledge to help your patients, to work with your co-workers, and also to improve work processes. So problem solving is something that we hope that we will instill in you, how to apply your knowledge to find solutions to some problems. Some problems may be new, which we all may not have encountered before, but with the power of knowledge, you should be able to find solution. Your employer will also expect you to be a resource manager, that you're able to manage your patients' therapies, which means that it's all the different medication. And in time to come, you will be managing a team, you will be managing a project, for example, or even managing the stock of medications. All right, so the role of a manager is also something that is part and parcel of what your employers is going to be expecting you to be able to do. Now, to be able to maintain competency, then of course you need to be continuously learning. And in pharmacy, you find that there's a lot of new drugs coming out every now and then. It is important that you are updated. Therefore, continuous education is something that you need to adopt and be part and parcel of your professional life. And this ability to recognize what are some of your learning gaps or your knowledge gaps and be able to self-direct to learning those deficiency, I think that is something that we hope you will be able to achieve at the end of the course. Now, it is important that patients already are not well. You should not be harming them further. So therefore, being a competent pharmacist is important. And finally, your behavior as a professional is very important. How you manage interprofessional relationships, how do you demonstrate honesty, integrity, and politeness, and etc. All right, all these are important. Okay, so as you can see here from these two slides that what your patients expects of you and what your employees expects of you are not just textbook kind of knowledge, all right? You need to go beyond that. And in the university, we will be helping you to acquire those skill sets and also those attitude and also be able to apply the knowledge so that you'll be able to function as a competent pharmacist. It may sound like there's a lot to learn and over a very short period of 4 years. 4 years may sound to you quite long, but actually with the blink of an eye, it will go quite quickly. So how do you manage and enjoy this journey? So I have some tips for you in this slide. First of all, it's important that you're able to manage your time, your daily activities, and throughout the whole program and the semester, for example, you need to manage your time well. And at some point of time, you might be required to do what we call multitasking. So you may be doing a few things at the same time. Now, it is also important to learn how to build relationship with your classmates, with your seniors, with your professors, and also with your trainers or your preceptors, right? That kind of interpersonal relationship interaction, it's something really important, and it's really something that you will see a lot more when you go out and work. And it is important that you be consistent in your efforts in learning, all right? Do not leave things to the last minute, and do not leave things to the last minute and thinking that only going through a few set of questions will see you through the exams, all right? You may pass the exams, but when you go out and do your internship, the preceptors actually expect more than your knowledge. You're supposed to be able to apply your knowledge, which is more important. While you need to work hard, but I think it is also important that you play hard. All right, join student activities, for example, the clubs, the sports, stay in the halls. All right, we have houses in our department. You'll be introduced to those shortly. And of course, we have your NUS Pharmaceutical Society activities, which is run by the pharmacy and pharmaceutical science students. And 4 years in the university as an undergraduate is really only a once in a lifetime thing that will happen to you. All right, so it really pays that perhaps you really explore and really try to grow yourself during these 4 years and really go beyond your comfort zone and learn things new and also learn about yourself. All right, so this is really the time to do that. And of course, your grades are important, but actually you should go beyond perfect grades because the expectation of your employers and the expectation of your patients are not about, oh, you have a certificate with all A's. That's not what they're expecting. They expect you to be able to apply those knowledge to help them and to do work for the organization. All right, so it doesn't mean that straight A's, which all of you, many of you come into this program from pre-university education with all A's, but I think you should look beyond a straight A's grades, but really to learn and be able to apply what you've learned and be able to interact with your people around you and to get the work done. All right, that's more important than getting all your straight A's. And finally, while it is going to be not an easy journey, there's going to be a lot of stress, and therefore self-care is important. Your well-being, recognizing what are your limitations, all right? If you are in trouble or you find that you're not coping, right? Always reach out to your professors or even to your teammates, talk about it, and we will be there to help. All right, so these are some of the tips that we hope that you will adopt and you can manage your learning journey with us. And of course, more importantly, is to enjoy that 4 years with us. So this slide shows you that we do have a very vibrant student activity within pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences. And you can see that we do a lot of interesting and really funny things. And you will be assigned to a house. All right, we have 5 houses here, and within each house there will be professors who are the mentors. So this is where you learn to interact closer with your mentors, your professors, and also your seniors. I can share with you at this point that it is really something important that you learn to kind of establish a kind of relationship, because you never know that your senior could be your employer in the future. They may have because they are in the company a bit earlier than you, and if there are positions available, they may come to you and ask you to join the company. So this is really something that knowing a lot of friends, your juniors, your seniors, all right, it's important. Now, coming into university, we know that it is really quite a big step, all right? Pre-universities, you have the teachers to guide you, you have the teachers to guide you to take those exams. But when you come to university, you'll find that all of a sudden you may feel that you're all by yourself, all right? So we want to help you to ease into this higher education learning, and therefore at the orientation program, what we call the academic orientation program, we have organized quite a lot of activities to help you get adjusted to university life. All right, so the first Monday of that whole week, you would get to see meet all the professors, and you will you will know which house you belong to. You will meet your mentor. We will also be conducting a lesson on the library facility services and resources, because at the university you'll be using the library resources quite a lot. And then we will put you into teams. All right, this is where we introduce to you how to establish that relationship in the team. How do you manage if there are conflicts within the teams, all right, so that you eventually will be able to build a team that is very functional, so that everyone will learn, help each other to learn as well. Okay, and of course, there will be the rec and flag, all right, you'll get more information, and this is really quite a colorful event. We hope you will be participating in them and also support the activities. And last but not least, there is another important briefing, which is the lab safety. You'll be doing quite a bit of practicals in this course, and lab safety is something that we want all of you to be aware of. We don't want you to get hurt by doing some experiments in the lab. Therefore, all of you will have to go through this lab safety briefing and carry out and do a test to make sure that you have a certain level of competency before you will be able to allowed to go into the lab to do your experiments. So this is another very important activities to participate in. Right, so all these activities are compulsory, and you will be doing it with the pharmaceutical science students. And what we have also arranged is that in week 1, all right, we don't kind of put you into the DM of the pool all of a sudden. We will again ease you into all the different learning activities. So we have something called the induction week. So this is where we go more in depth into the courses that you will be taking. You will be introduced to all the course coordinators who will give you more information about the courses. But on Wednesday, you will start your first course with first class with the in the common curriculum, which is social and behavioral determinant of health, an introductory overview. That will happen on the Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we will give you a chance to experience what a collaborative learning workshop is. We will give you more information as to how to prepare for it. Because you're going into a profession, we would like to introduce you to some of the very important people in the profession. Therefore, we will have a dialogue session with the chief pharmacist from the Ministry of Health and also the president of Singapore Pharmacy Council. Right, this is the time where you can ask all the questions you want about your future of the profession. Okay, so on that note, I'd just like to wrap up this afternoon's session by sharing with you that now that you have gone through at least part 1 of your registration or matriculation process, you would have your email address and also your matriculation number. So these are very important information that you need to keep. And another important note for you is to keep an lookout for all the emails that will be sent to your email box. All right, that is really the way that we communicate with you, either at the faculty level, at the university level, or even at the departmental level. So do keep a lookout for emails, and some emails require your prompt attention. So we hope that you will be able to do that. Now, we do have something called Canvas, which is the learning management system. So once this is open, I'm expecting it to be maybe sometime in the 3rd week or the 4th week of July. You will be notified, and you can come into this Canvas course, which is known as Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Science Freshman Orientation 2025. You will be able to get more information about what to expect in your orientation week, as well as the induction week for the pharmacy freshmen. All right, so again, I stress that this is important, that you keep an eye on your emails. Okay, so that's all for my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take a few. If not, then we will see you during orientation week. If you have any questions, you can raise your hands, or you could write it in the chat. Okay, I see a lot of people leaving, so I guess there's no questions. So thank you all for coming to this session. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care.